Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this 97th episode of Inside the Vault, a Carolina Panthers podcast. I am your host, Ryan Smith, getting you set for Falcons Panthers in Atlanta on Sunday afternoon in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Former NFL tight end Ben Troop, my co-host on Winning the Division, but also a Falcons fan as well, even though he did not play for the Falcons.
Nope.
But anyway, that is what it is there. So, Ben, let's get into Panthers Falcons. About a 20-minute preview here on this game. Carolina sitting at 5-5. Atlanta sitting at 3-6. You know, Michael Penix and Bryce Young both, after disappointing performances last week and losses, essentially both said, "I've got to be better." Both these quarterbacks are in the spotlight, as both of these teams trying to catch Tampa Bay. Both of these teams have had similar stories of frustration, in recent years. If we're being honest, each team is looking to snap a streak of 7 consecutive losing seasons and reach in the playoffs for the first time since 2017. Each of these teams is also counting on their young quarterback to spark a turnaround. Both of these teams, I would argue, their best player is at running back right now. That would be Bijan Robinson and Rico Dowdle. One coach is particularly on the hot seat. That would be Raheem Morris, potentially. There's a lot going into this matchup. Panthers 1-1, Falcons 0-2 in the division. It's a big NFC South matchup on Sunday down there in the ATL. So, your initial thoughts on this matchup, and then we'll kind of break it down going forward.
For the Falcons, I think it's redemption. The last time you played at Carolina, 31-0. It was an embarrassing loss. No matter how you try to slice it, trying to make amends for a game like that. I think for the Falcons, the Carolina wants to obviously keep what they winning ways, but I think for the Falcons, you need this win for so many reasons. One, you got to get on a streak, and two, you want to try to learn how to build momentum. 3-6 right now is very, very underwhelming, and I know this Falcon team's had big time, season expectations before the season started, but then you kick the ball off. And I just think for Atlanta, where there is no identity, it's going to be hard to find one against Carolina. This Carolina team is playing with a lot of momentum, something we talked about earlier. 5-5 after 10 games with this Carolina team that's still very young. Your best receiver is a rookie, right? Your second best receiver is a second-year player. And then when you think about what you got at running back, you talk about a good problem. You got two problems at the running back position. With yes, I know that Chuba is the money guy, but Dowdle is the guy. He's the guy right now. He's the hot hand. But if you are Atlanta, this is all about trying to have some level of respectability. Carolina's not going to feel sorry for Atlanta, as they should not. Carolina's going to come in with a lot of momentum, as they should. And Carolina's trying to get, an ugly loss off, they're trying to get that ugly loss, out of their system. We talk about with the Saints, and if you are Atlanta, you had an opportunity to beat the Colts, over there and over the water, across the water, but it didn't happen. So Raheem Morris is definitely on the hot seat. One, because they're not winning, but two, I don't know how much his team respects him. I know they respect his position. I don't know how much they respect him. But it should bode well for a really, really good matchup. I think if you are Bryce Young, though, a team that he's definitely had his way with as of late is Atlanta. That's a team that he plays extremely well in, and maybe Coach Canales, will kind of open up the playbook a little bit, even if you do want to rely or lean on that running game.
It's interesting because Bryce's first matchup, literally in the NFL, was against the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. Jesse Bates had 2 picks that day, and it seemed like that was kind of Bryce's welcome to the NFL moment, obviously, in ATL. And then after that, like you said, it's been all Carolina against the Falcons ever since that season opener in 2023. Bijan Robinson, 13 carries for 72 yards last time out in week 3, 6 catches for 39 yards, but held out of the end zone. Carolina knows that they need to contain Bijan Robinson if they want to have a chance at doing what they did to the Falcons the first time, even if it's not a shutout, just, winning the game, is containing Bijan Robinson. The other thing that the Falcons did not do last time was they did not play clean football. They turned the ball over. Charles Smith-Wade had a pick 6 off Michael Penix. And the Carolina Panthers special teams had some knuckleballs that the Falcons special teams were not able to handle as well. So before we go into the players specifically, what do you think the Falcons players and coaches are harping on this time, particularly in the special teams category. And, you've seen some things about Penix this week, Raheem Morris, whether it's Jesse Bates, like different people talking to him kind of in his ear, making sure, his mentals are okay. What do you think is going through his mind? Because he obviously didn't have a very good game against the Panthers last time out. And obviously, like you said, the special teams, those knuckleballs by rookie kicker Ryan Fitzgerald, very much a problem for the Falcons special teams last time out.
Getting back to the basics, sometimes doing too much gets you in trouble when you're not good at the small things, at the simple things. Got to learn how to do the simple things well. I don't want to just jump straight to the complex. And Michael Penix, let's face it, this is what 10th, 11th start in the NFL. So essentially, this is rookie year,
Right.
but this is the second year, on paper. Michael Penix got to go out there and stay ahead of the chains. Don't turn the football over and keep the team, in good situations. That's what a quarterback is supposed to do. This whole Cam Newton game managers and game changers. Well, most guys are game managers. You want to be a game manager. Go out there and manage the game. Don't turn the football over. Understand the down and distance. Focus, execute, and finish. But the greatest thing Michael Penix has he has athleticism. He has to anticipate the rush. They are going to come at him. They are going to unleash that rush on him. And for Michael Penix, with all the advice, he got the trust in himself, trust in his training, trust in his teammates, and go out there and hopefully put a really, really good showing out there on the tape, because you're never as bad as your last game. You aren't as good as your current game, but you are what the tape says you are right now. His numbers and Matt Ryan numbers, the first 10 games of their career, look very, very similar. The problem is people look at what Matt Ryan became, not what Matt Ryan started out as. So Michael Penix got some big shoes to fill, but I think he got good a shot as any. Like I said, this Carolina defense can be very, 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 very difficult to move the ball against when they're playing on all cylinders. And I think for Michael Penix, they're not going to be – the running game ain't going to do too well running at Derek Brown. That's not going to be a recipe for success. But I think, Algier and Bijan Robinson, maybe they're going to do their best 1-2 punch to try to deal with, because I think the run game for a guy like Michael Penix is going to serve him dividends come Sunday.
Well, let's get into some of those players to watch and keys to victory for both sides of this matchup. Let's start with the Panthers on defense. That means the Falcons on offense. My key number one for the Panthers defense is Derek Brown has to continue doing Derek Brown things, and that means stopping the run first and foremost, getting the Falcons behind the chains, and forcing Michael Penix to beat them through the air. And if they can do that and hold Bijan in check, that should make for a good day on the defensive side of the football. And other than Drake London on offense, if you held up Bijan Robinson and make the Falcons one-dimensional, they're going to have a tougher time at the go. So my key number one is stopping the run, particularly with Derek Brown anchoring that defensive front.
Yeah. If they do stop the run for Atlanta, it's gonna be a long day. But my key for you guys on defense is J.C. Horn, because the thing about it is right now, Drake London has been such a consistent player. He has been extremely consistent, and I know that J.C. Horn wants to have a really, really good showing coming off the 2 slips that he had the last 2 games. If J.C. Horn takes away Drake London, it's gonna be a long day, because Drake London, he's not the one that makes the offense go. He's the one that makes the passing game go. But when you talk about that run game, Bijan and Algier is more your short yardage goal line back. He can. I mean, no one has Bijan Robinson ability.
He does well against Carolina for whatever reason. Tyler Algier.
Yeah, I think for the run game for Atlanta, you got to stay with it though, regardless if it's working or not. Because yes, Derek Brown, if Derek Brown wrecks the run game, that's what he does. He wrecks game plans. Forget the run game. But I think for Michael Penix, for him to get a level of comfortability, they're gonna have to establish run. And Smitty, they're gonna have to. The run game is one thing. Featuring Bijan in the run game is a totally different thing. I don't know if they're gonna do that, but that would be my recipe for success, if there is a recipe for success with a D-line featuring a guy like Derek Brown.
And then switching it over to the Panthers side of the ball on offense, and then Atlanta on defense. My key for the Panthers offense is run, Rico, run, getting him started. But I'm actually but that's obvious. Let me go outside. Let me go a little step further. Bryce Young play action off the Rico Dowdle runs and actually spreading this defense apart so Jalen Walker, James Pierce Jr., guys like that cannot pin their ears back and get going on third and long. Guys like Ted McMillan, Xavier Legette, finally doing something downfield. Jalen Coker, looking for him to be more involved, specifically in the Z slot position. I think that's going to be a place where he will thrive going forward. I think the Panthers just need to give him that opportunity to do that. So give me Bryce Young play action down the field off those Rico Dowdle first down chunks in the run game.
I think the key for you guys play action is going to be the tight ends. What has hurt Atlanta against Carolina has been Evans, Sanders, and Trimble. Because the thing about it is Jesse Bates is really, really good, and he's really, really bad. When I say he's bad, he's not a bad player. He'll play out of position because he's a playmaking safety. He wants to make plays. And sometimes he'll guess wrong. Now, when he gets right, it's real good. So for me, as much as I know you guys want to have that play action for Ted, for Xavier Legette, that middle of the field is going to be the same way you always say that y'all defense is susceptible to the tight end. So is Atlanta's defense. They are not good at covering the tight end. So, like I said, Evans, Sanders, Trimble, pick your poison. Those guys seem to have they seem to come up really, really big against my Falcons. Hopefully that's not the case, but I see Ted being on the outside having to deal with AJ Terrell. Xavier Legette, you're going to have to show up. You're just going to have to do it against the number 2 corner. And Coker really, really scares me in the slot for y'all because, I mean, he don't run routes like Hunter Renfrow, but he comes wide open and he's consistent with the ball in his hand. But, yeah, I think the play action for you guys could be deadly. And we got we got linebackers that take chances as well. Good linebackers for the Falcons, but nothing to ride home about. So yeah, I think the tight ends for Carolina could be a problem for this Atlanta defense on Sunday.
And then on the defense side of the ball for Atlanta, you're saying don't be too aggressive. It sounds like kind of stay in your lane and gap.
I think for Atlanta, you got to make Bryce Young uncomfortable. You have to get him off his spot. You want to force Bryce Young left. You don't want to force him right. You want to keep forcing him left because one, that cuts out one side of the field, and he has to contort his body to throw it. So I would think because the thing about Bryce is if he's comfortable, it's going to be a long game for Atlanta because he can dink and dunk you down the field. I mean, he can literally with the run game. But I think the goal for Atlanta's defense, be aggressive, make Bryce Young uncomfortable, force Ted McMillan to get open, force another receiver not named Ted McMillan to beat you. And when it comes to that running game, if Rico is going crazy, that's gonna open up the entire offense. But y'all got more weapons than now that I'm thinking about it. Y'all got a lot more weapons than people give y'all credit for. But Atlanta still has to be aggressive on defense, and they cannot play conservative on offense.
Yeah, that's a good analysis. I think both. Listen, this game we all know 30-0 was not was the anomaly for the Panthers this year. It's not going to be 30-0. I will come on this podcast on winning the division when we record again next week. If it is 30-0 again, or if it's something worse, or if it's just Falcons score some points, but the Panthers still win by a wider margin, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to be in disbelief. So this is going to be a close game as we get into our players to watch on both sides of the ball. Give me a player. I'm going to give you my 2 Carolina players, one on each side. You give me your 2 Atlanta players. We talked about our keys. We'll get our players to watch, a prediction, and then final thoughts, and we'll get you out of here. I'm going to go J.C. Horn as my player to watch on the defense side of the ball. Like you said, shutting down Drake London, making the Falcons have to go to somewhere else, Kyle Pitts or whoever it is. J.C. Horn shutting down one side of the field and really, like you said, redeeming himself from that game last week against the Saints, which he fell down twice and paying him the big bucks as they are. And then on the offense, I'm going to give it to a group. The wide receiver position for the Carolina Panthers. Rico is going to get his yards, especially against this Falcons run defense. Can the wide receivers for the Carolina Panthers please stand up, as Eminem likes to say, and get going against this Falcons defense. When Bryce Young throws you the biscuit, you got to catch the biscuit and make
Mhm.
sure you do your mentals and stay locked in, and let's go prove to the world that we have some wide receivers in Carolina. So those are my two players to watch on both sides of the ball.
Oh man, I mean, I know I've been talking about him a lot, but I mean, I think on defense, my guy to watch is Jesse Bates. I mean, because the thing about Jesse Bates is he has to be for sure on Sunday. He has to make sure he's giving help to his cornerbacks, but he got to be a for sure tackler. He's gonna have to make a lot of open field tackles when it comes to Rico and when it comes to Chuba. He's gonna have to get him on the ground. Don't care how you do it, just get him on the ground. And the usual suspect on offense for Atlanta, Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts. I just don't understand it. He's
You
supposed
and
to
me
be a
both.
mismatch nightmare. He's supposed to be a guy, and I think that for this game, find a way to get him in the game and stay in the game. Like there are times that you forget that he's out there. You're like, who's number 8? Yeah, that's Kyle Pitts. What does he do? I don't know. The jury is still out on him. But Kyle Pitts on offense, I was just based on defense and just a 1B on offense. Not that he's 1B. Feature Bijan. Just feature him. Like I can live with losing the game if you feature Bijan. I cannot deal with losing these games and Bijan Robinson is giving him pedestrian type opportunities. Come on, man. Stop treating this, out of this world player normal when it comes to this play calling. And obviously I want special teams to be a weapon this game.
Yes. Let's get out of here with your prediction and final thoughts of this game. Listen, I'm not going to pretend like the Carolina Panthers, even though they have the better record, and yes, they won last year in the ATL. I'm not going to pretend like this is going to be some easy game or this is going to be I mean, this is a division rival on the road. Not only did they get embarrassed last time, they didn't get embarrassed, but they lost in overtime to end their season last year, which again, their season was over anyway. They knew that before the game started that they weren't going to the playoffs, but they would have liked to see their season end on a high note, and the Panthers also disrupted that last time they were in Atlanta, last year, earlier in 2025. So this is going to be a hard fought game, but the Panthers need this one. So do the Falcons. Obviously, it's going to be very closely and contested. I'm going to go 21-17 Carolina coming out with the victory. A little lower scoring because I think both defenses are going to come to play. What say you?
Because Atlanta got to have this is market correction type game. Give me 24-20. Give me 24-21 Atlanta. It's going to be a nail biter. But I got 24-21 Atlanta because I think Atlanta, if Atlanta loses on Sunday, not saying it's about over now. Let's call it what it is. If they lose on Sunday, that's it. 3-7. You'll spend the rest of the year trying to get 500. So because they need it, not to make the playoffs, but to look like a halfway respectable football team, I got 24-21 Atlanta, and it's going to be a nail biter. It's going to be a nail biter.
Final thought: if the Panthers do manage to squeak this out, does Carolina Reaper strike again? Is someone getting fired? Do you think, or is it?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, because the thing about it is Atlanta would have not done what they did this time last year. I think Atlanta was 6-3, and they had already beat the Bucks twice, and they had nothing to show for it. Carolina is the new barometer for Atlanta. No one thinks that Atlanta's going to beat the Bucks. They got a shot to beat the Saints. If you're losing to Carolina twice, that means you competing for third and fourth in the division. So what
Yeah.
does Raheem Morris just hasn't shown growth, man. I'm sorry, he just hasn't shown any.
Well, the last time the Falcons were on a four-game losing streak, they ended up losing that fifth game in a row down in the ATL. And the coach that got fired in this case, that was Dan Quinn back in 2020. So they were coming off a four-game losing streak, playing Carolina, ironically. And they did lose that fifth one in a row, and that did cost Dan Quinn his job. We'll see what happens on Sunday in the ATL. My co-host of Winning the Division, Ben Shroop, former NFL tight end, Falcons fan as well. Ben, for those who may not know, tell them where they can find you on social media and elsewhere.
Oh man, on IG it's still Ben Troop 84. And on X it's I am Ben Troop now. So the old handle is gone. The new handle I am Ben Troop is alive and well. Just keep following us on our Winning Division, Inside the Vault, and whatever else we might be doing.
Your podcast, No Weddings in the Fall, as well.
Listen, no weddings in the fall, the fan in the end, soon to come. I don't know. Just being true. It ain't out yet, but be on the lookout, man. Might be talking a little trash about these college teams coming up. Who knows?
All right, well, we'll leave it there. Episode number 97 of Inside the Vault, a Carolina Panthers podcast. Atlanta versus Carolina Sunday in the ATL. Rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. And we'll see you next time. This has been your Falcons Panthers preview.